Prediction Markets Edge on the early line on a Friday. No better place to be. The action, the anticipation, the energy is high. Why? The WBC is coming up. We'll handle that business here. College basketball coming up today. Conference tournament action. We'll handle that as well. And also a look at the NBA and, more importantly, the Oscars this weekend, Joe. Joe Ranieri's his name. Donnie Rightside's my name. Away we go. Some fun times ahead, Joe.
Very forward, shall we say, to what's coming up this weekend, especially Selection Sunday. This Sunday's going to be a huge one, right? It's going to be the final round of the players. You got Selection Sunday, brackets coming out after that. A lot going on here over the next week.
No doubt it is. So let's get down to the business today, Joe. And some teams can already punch their ticket before you even get to Selection Sunday with an automatic bid by winning your conference tournament, while others will have to wait on the bubble. Ohio State and Michigan. Michigan, one of the best teams in the country. They're in regardless, but they would love to win the Big Ten. They're going to play today, Joe, at 12 noon. That's a tip-off East Coast time. And if we take a look at the chance of victory, 87% for Michigan, 13% for Ohio State. If we include the spread, a 12.5-point number here for Michigan. That's currently at a 52% chance right now. Michigan's supposed to win, but how do you play this game, Joe? Maybe an upset for Ohio State or Michigan just by the number.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, right, it's been, we've had some time off here if we're Michigan, right? We haven't played in 5 days. Ohio State has looked really good. They're playing some of their best basketball right now. And listen, we know these two teams don't like each other, but yes, it was blowout city for Michigan. Is a blowout possible? Absolutely. But I find it fascinating that the market hasn't moved this, Donnie, at all. And if the market hasn't moved this from the opening of 12.5, we're at the point where style points are out. All you got to do is win and advance. And that's the only thing that matters from here on out. I would tend to look at the dog here. I think Ohio State, nothing to lose, playing with house money. I think there's some value in this market by taking as many points as you can get.
Florida, to start their season, Joe, actually had a stretch here in late November and early December. They lost 3 out of 4 games here, but their last loss was on January the 24th against Auburn. And since then, they've been doing a lot of damage in the SEC, which includes the final game of the regular season. They knocked off Kentucky 84-77. They're going to face Kentucky once again today. And Florida, an 83% chance to win this game outright. Kentucky listed at 17%. Florida to win by more than 10 points, 10.5 plus, minus 10.5, I should say. That's a 50% chance here, Joe. The best basketball in the country right now seems to be played by Florida. How do we figure that into today?
Well, we saw this team twice, right? These two teams play, including the last game of the regular season. And what did we get? We got 161 total points in the first game, 175 in the second one just a week and a half ago. So I expect there to be pace. I expect there to be rebound, second chance points. Florida is hitting the 3 much better. This feels like it is going to be a back and forth, kind of game. I think Florida pulls away, but maybe a Florida team total over in addition to the full game over. I think there's a couple of different ways you can approach this in the markets here and ladder it up, because this isn't going to be a 65-60 kind of game.
No more LED, Joe, in the Big 12. Iowa State's going to take on Arizona here. And if we go back in the early parts of March here, you had Arizona easily dispatching of Iowa State. And only 2 blemishes right now in Arizona's schedule. Back-to-back losses, one by 4 points to Kansas, one in overtime to Texas Tech. They're going to meet today, and Arizona is also a heavy favorite to win this game, a 62% chance. Iowa State, 38%. If we use it around that spread, Joe, 4.5 to 5.5 in the marketplace, but Cal Sheet listed at 4.5 at a 50% chance. What do we think today? Iowa State and Arizona, Joe.
Unlike that last game we talked about with Kentucky and Florida, right? This game is all about the defense here. And if you're a fan of defense, I think you're going to get some of the best on the court here. I mean, we saw this game in the regular season. Arizona won at home, right? And 73-57. That game was in Tucson. Yeah. Iowa State right now is just clamping down. I mean, the energy, the effort that they're giving on the defensive side of the ball. They only gave up 42 to Arizona State here, right? Texas Tech got 50. Texas Tech was one of the best offenses in the Big 12. 53 points yesterday. this thing is going to be a rock fight, Donnie. I'm looking to back as many unders for both these teams as I can.
And if you feel like you might have a carbon copy retweet of that game number 1, Joe, which stayed well under the total, and if you feel like Arizona's the better team, use that slider. Go from 4.5 to -7.5 and put that plus money in your pocket. $100 investment on Kalshi to win by 7.5 or more points here for Arizona. That pays back, Joe, at $257. Let's get over to the association tonight. Out at Golden State. Minnesota's coming to town. No Steph Curry. Hopefully no problem there for Golden State. But trading right now, Joe, at a 67% chance to win. That's the Minnesota Timberwolves, the road team here. Golden State at 33%. The spread, Joe, 6.5 as a favorite towards Minnesota, currently trading at 49 cents. A $100 wager will pay you back, or $100 investment, I should say, will pay you back $205. Minnesota and Golden State tonight, Joe.
I listen, I do think this is exactly the kind of game that Minnesota bounces back with. It's been a rough trip here. I mean, did you see what the Clippers did to them last game out here? I mean, it was not pretty, giving up 153 points. I think you're going to see a better defensive effort from them. I'd be looking at maybe a Golden State team total under, Donnie. And you know what else? Yep. Anthony Edwards, get him at 30-plus points. I think that's also probably a pretty good look here.
Ask and you shall receive, Joe. You can take team totals here on the predictive markets, just like the sports books here. Team total for Golden State listed at 99.5. They stay under, Joe. $100 investment would pay back $193. If you think some of these players will go nuts tonight and score 30-plus points, we'll look no further than Anthony Edwards, Joe. $100 investment pays back $200. No juice on that for him to get 30-plus points in his game today. But, Joe, let's flip it over. WBC action tonight. Team USA going to take on Canada. U.S. lucky to be here, and apparently they understand that. Trading currently at an 86% chance to win this game outright against Canada, which, again, survive in advance. Canada listed at 14% here. If we take a look at the spread, Joe, 2.5 runs listed at 66%, which if you're looking at a $100 investment, that only pays back $129. So the U.S. by 3 or more runs, you're going to be still paying some juice. If you want them just to win that game, Joe, 86%. Looks like the U.S. should be moving on, at least odds-wise.
Yeah, and I like runs, Donnie, in this one here. I think I think an over is in play. I mean, not that I don't like Logan Webb, who's going to be on the mound for for Team USA, but I do think Canada's going to be able to score some runs here, especially as they start heading to the bullpen. So. Give me Cal Raleigh for a home run, give me Schwarber for a home run, and give me the team total over for Team USA in this one tonight.
I'll tell you what's also interesting, too, Joe, taking a look. Like, if you figure, and I know you can't, it's recency bias, right? Sometimes the U.S. bats start a little bit slow in games, and you think Canada can hang around. You can bet the first 5 innings winner. If you do take Canada, Joe, a $100 investment here would pay back $228. You can even bet the tie market. There's no ties in baseball. Sure there are after 5 innings. A $100 wager, Joe, in a 1-1 or 0-0 game after 5, that investment would be back at $323. How about that?
Donnie, these markets are great. And again, you don't have to wait very long. It's not a wait and see situation here. Games are coming up, and I think there is great way to ladder a few spots here, not just in this game, Donnie, but in the tournament. And it'll be over quickly, right? So you don't have to worry about tying up capital for very long here. I think now's the time to take a shot here in a couple of those markets.
Also, first 5 innings total for the game itself. How about this? Over a half of a run for the first 5 innings. It's paying back at 8. By the way, let me just take a look at this, Joe. Let me take a look at this investment. Hear me out on this, Joe. First 5 innings to go over 1 run, like that's ridiculous. But a $100 investment does pay back 25. That's 25% return for them to score 1 run. And again, both teams in the first 5 innings, I'm not going to get 1 run, Joe. Come on now. Feel the heat, baby, Joe. Tell me you don't like that, Joe. 1 run? Give me the 1 run. Come on.
Love it, Donnie. And a run in the first inning.
Man.
Like that one, too.
Yeah. Get the Nerfies here. Fun action investments. Put your money down. Prediction markets edge right here on the early line on a Friday. No better place to be. The Oscars got you covered next. Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line. Donnie right side and Joe near. Joe, you know it. I know it. The Oscars are this weekend on Sunday, and you're going to get some good speeches up there, and you're going to get some guys overrunning. Wrap it up, B, as we like to say. You excited for the Oscars?
No, not at all. I'm excited to cash some. I'm excited to invest in the predictive markets that have some inefficiencies, shall we say. And these are the fun kind of markets, like we've told you all week.
Roll out the red carpet wide, because on the Kalshi predictive market here, the Oscar for Best Picture, the heavy favorite, one battle after another, trading at 76% as a chance here. Sinners, 23%. They're the darlings right now of the awards circuit right now. Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Begonia, F1. And by the way, none of these movies, Joe, good enough to actually get me to a movie theater. How about you?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I can't even, honestly, I can't remember the last time I was at a movie, which is kind of crazy here. But I do think there's opportunities in these markets because they are telling. Don't forget.
Yeah.
There are people who already know the answer to these markets. Keep that in mind. This isn't, this isn't some crazy secret. So the market is pretty efficient, Donnie. And what the market is telling you, it's going to be one of two pictures, right? It's going to be one battle after another, or it's going to be Sinners. Yeah. That's it. It's pretty efficient there. And from that standpoint, I don't know, call me crazy. I thought Sinners was actually a very good movie. I couldn't make through even the preview of the other one. But that likely means the 76% is there for a reason here. But listen, don't go broke, but investing in Sinners as maybe the slight upset, I got no problem with that either at 23 cents.
Yeah, this will tell us a lot because you see the graph on the screen. If you slide it all the way back to September 23rd, one battle after another was still the favorite, Joe, at 47.1%. Yep. They've been the leader all the way through. Wouldn't that be wild over the final 48 hours to see that market crash? Keep an eye on it. But usually somebody knows something. If they held that lead for that long and it's still significant, then it might be worth buying into, even if it is limited investment that you have here. Oscar for Best Actor here. Also, Joe, absolutely changing in the last moments here. For the longest time, it was Timothée Chalamet. He's now listed at a 31% chance to win this. Why? Michael B. Jordan surging to 60% now, seemingly out of nowhere in the past couple days, Joe.
Yeah, it's so funny because, again, understand that these markets are, A, already we know the answers. B, they're also heavily influenced by articles, Donnie, right? And headlines and those types of things. Variety just came out and already has Michael B. Jordan listed as the #1 best actor. And that kind of lets you know exactly where we're heading here, which is why he has surged. Sometimes you think, hey, best picture, best actor, right? Well, in this particular case, I think he's got this one locked up here. Unfortunately, I'd rather go for the live dog in the best picture category. I'd rather have that than pay retail price for the favorite. Here, I'd rather pay for the favorite at 60 cents because I do think where there's smoke, there's fire here, Donnie.
September 26th, Joe, in this marketplace on Kalshi, Leonardo DiCaprio was trading at a 56% chance to win this award. He's now trading at 8% right now. So a lot of movement here, but that late finish here looks like it might be able to get the job done for Michael B. Jordan. We'll keep an eye on that. Oscar for Best Actress here. Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Kate Hudson here. But this looks like a runaway from the beginning. Jessie Buckley currently trading, Joe, at 97% as a chance. If you feel frisky on a Friday and you want to say, you know what, there's going to be an upset, a $100 investment would pay back $2,500 if she doesn't win, and you get the rest of the field. But, Joe, as I said, heavy favorite for Miss Buckley.
And this is priced, Donnie, like somebody already knows exactly what the answer is going to be, and somebody does, and likely this is what you're looking at 97 cents, Donnie, and all the headlines and all the reports, the TMZs, the varieties of the world, right? They're all reporting the same thing. Unbelievable actress and performance, likely going to walk away. 97 cents, too rich for my taste.
By the way, Kate Hudson, Song Sung Blue. Watched it the other night. Decent little movie right there. But again, none of these movies, Joe, enough to get me out of the house and into a movie theater. You just wait for them to come around on your cable device here. Oscar for Best Director here, Joe. One battle after another, 91%. And he's been that favorite all the way through. That's Paul Thomas Anderson, followed by Ryan Coogler with Sinners, and Chloe Zhao for Hamnet here. But 91% chance here, wire to wire. It looks like a finish for this Paul Thomas Anderson.
Well, and again, sometimes, history teaches us these two things go hand in hand. If the director at 92, 93 cents is the favorite, there's a reason why the picture he directed is also the favorite in the best picture market. See how that works? So this is another one of these markets where maybe the director wins it, but there's an upset with the picture. But I don't think there's going to be an upset here in this market here with the best director. I think what you see is what you get.
By the way, NFL, take notes on this, right? What Joe is saying. Like, hey, the best movie probably had a great director, and they go hand in hand. The NFL, it's like, yeah, you went undefeated, but we're not going to give any credit to your head coach at this point here. So Paul Thomas Anderson, 91%, looking to sweep the board here with his boys. How about the mention market? We love this one, Joe. Conan O'Brien's going to host the Oscars. Who is he going to mention, or what type of products here? Timothy Chalamet, 91%. Hollywood, 84%. Netflix, 79%. Warner, 78%. Those are the favorites in the clubhouse right now. And you could say also just Timothy or Chalamet, Joe. Just need one of them here. How about he says Timmy?
I also like the fact that any one of the networks, right? Say Netflix, I think Hollywood's another one. Warner is another one. I think AI or artificial intelligence, I think all of those markets, anywhere from 70 to 90 cents, I think we can count on the host at some point mentioning those words.
Is he going to say Will Smith, Joe? Because that's trading currently at 21 cents here. Like, is it too just easy for him to say Will Smith at this point? I don't know if it is, but it's an interesting one to sort of bring up. But also, if let's just say Conan's reading these markets here, and it's like, hey, look who's in the crowd. It's Timmy C. Like, wait a second. He just referenced Timothy Chalamet, but he's beating around the bush. Like, be careful of that. But I do think Hollywood's an easy one here. AI, you're going to replace everything with AI. Like, some of these make some sense in their high price, Joe, but I was just looking down the list on some of those here. Will Smith, ICE, Trump, Epstein here.
How is he not saying Timothy Chalamet? How is he not saying that? I don't.
They usually introduce everybody to the marketplace. Yeah, it's hey, Timothy Chalamet's here, Ryan Coogler's here, congratulations. And also, you get his first name, Joe, and his last name. Doesn't have to be said together at this point. So an interesting caveat there. Prediction marks its edge right here on the early line. We got more action coming up next. Keep it right here. Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line. Donnie right side and Joe Ranieri beefing you up for the weekend here. So many interesting topics. And also, Joe, an alternative way to try to invest in some of these options here, which includes the Oscars. Hey, you might not like it, but maybe your partner loves it here. Hey, you know what? Joe and Donnie were talking about some of these odds here and who the heavy favorites are. You sound like a genius here. How about that? That's a different way to approach things. But, Joe, let's get to some other time. Go ahead. Speak on it. Speak on the red carpet. I know you want to. Go ahead.
I think it's great. Where else are you going to get that, right?
Yes.
I mean, the whole the wide-ranging topics and categories that you can invest in and make profits on, and not have to wait a whole a long time. Where else are you getting that, Donnie?
I'm telling you, you never like what I like. You give the missus or your, other person that you like, and it's like, you know what? I know all these odds here. Oh, man, that's getting those extra points. Or maybe in the fall, you can watch some of those NFL Sundays in peace and quiet. But, Joe, movie scenes that we're talking about. Do you ever hear the Super Mario Galaxy movie? Well, they're coming back here, Joe. And it's an upcoming animated comedy feature based on the 2007 video game Super Mario Galaxy. The sequel's coming up, Joe. How about some of these people in it, too? Chris Pratt, Anna Joy Taylor, Charlie White, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key, Kevin Michael Richardson, and many more, Joe. So the question to the people out there, if you want to get down with this, how's it going to be received by the public, Joe? Over a 60% Rotten Tomato score, trading at 68%, above 65, 51%. Uh-oh. Are people going to be throwing tomatoes at this? They're not going to like this?
Well, Donnie, I think you have to look at the first Super Mario Brothers movie, right? And where did that land? 59% there on Rotten Tomatoes. So the market is pricing this as like a small sequel bump here, right? Not some sort of, masterpiece of a movie. But I got to tell you, Donnie, I mean, looking across the board here, the write-ups and the audience reception, people are really, really liking this movie, but I don't think it's going to get over 65%. I think, well, it's not going to get over 70. If I was doing anything, I would do above 60 and above 65, but I would look below 70. I don't think it gets to 70 or more.
If you think it does get to 70 or more, Joe, that's trading at 44 cents, which a $100 investment pays back $228. Super. We love nostalgia here. Maybe a little nostalgia coming back, pushing that into the 70s here. Question here. Congress, balance of power for the 2026 midterms, which will take place on November the 3rd, 2026. The favorite right now with a chance of 47% to happen, the Democrats keep the House, and the Democrats overtake the Senate as well. How about that, Joe?
Yeah, and there's so much that can happen between now and when this is. And this is a market, Donnie, that is going to fluctuate a lot here as we move forward. But, when you look at across the board, right, 33 Senate seats up in 2026, 13 Democratic held, and 20 Republican seats held. And the Democrats would need a net gain of 4 seats to win control. That is going to bounce back and forth, Donnie, in this market. This is going to be very volatile, and it's going to be very driven by headlines here. So follow this market. Wouldn't be a bad time to buy low in some of these spots and then look to sell high once the narrative changes.
And I'll tell you the interesting part about this, too, coming up, because typically if you are the party in power, you want to have a great run up to the midterms here. You're trying to get interest rates lower, maybe getting oil back down, because if your economy is a mess and there's uncertainty in the Middle East, that's not going to fare well for the Republicans in the House. Something to keep an eye on, but you still got time. November the 3rd, a lot can change in that instance here. Next question we ask you on the Kalshi Marketplace. When will DHS receive full year funding here, Joe? There's been a big fight to secure that funding here, and you're also seeing longer lines right now at the airport for TSA.
Yeah, it is. I think what are the dates here, Donnie? Right before March 20th or before April 1st. And right now, does it look like we've got spring break coming up here, Donnie? Right? Yeah. You're already hearing about 3, 4, 5 hour long lines. At some point, the constituents here and the public is going to get real fed up with this. So I would think we're not there yet, but I would think maybe before April 1st is probably the best investment here at this point.
It's amazing, too. You take a look at the government, like, oh, we're fine with the shutdown. We'll still get paid. Healthcare is fine. All of our perks and processes. Meanwhile, you got people out there, like, working the airport as TSA agents, working without a paycheck. Like, hey, come to work for a couple weeks without a paycheck at this point. We'll pay you back once we fund everything here. It's not fair to the commoners. But if I say March 20th, Joe, pressure burst pipes. That's not going to happen here. But I would look towards April the 1st at 36% as a chance. A $100 investment pays back $278 because it can't go on for too long because you can't ask people to work for paychecks for a month plus at a time. That's when I think it's going to happen at this point here, Joe. But that's another sensational day on Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line, specifically for a Friday. Enjoy your World Baseball Classic. Enjoy your basketball today. Selection Sunday. And, of course, more Prediction Markets next week as we get going with the NCAA tournament. For Joe and Donnie, we're out of here.